What is going on, YouTube? Pass the prop back here yet again. We are here with a decent slate. Not anything too crazy for games individually, but we do have I believe it's like an 8 or 9 gamer on today's slate. So can't complain. Joined as always by my guy Stu. How we doing, man?
Hey, you can't complain. Fuck the slate. I don't like it. I'll complain. But besides that, no, I'm doing pretty good. It's Monday. Good way to start the week here, obviously. Try to get some winners. I had a very nice weekend. I feel like the best I can describe it is mostly like hibernation. I was feeling kind of under the weather. Just had a good weekend just doing absolutely nothing. You don't get many of those, where you can just literally do it as minimal as possible. The betting was fun. Obviously we got our new NBA Finals matchup now. We have to wait till Thursday till we get any basketball, and we'll see if it's a good series or not. But yeah, I can't complain. I had a good weekend. I made a little bit of money on that garbage UFC card. Shout out my boy Gamrot. Had that bet locked in 2 weeks ago. Easy fucking money. Absolutely easy money. So I enjoyed that, even though it was one of the weirdest UFC cards, obviously, with the main event getting canceled, with the just quality of card, multiple weight miss. It was just one of the weirdest ones I've seen, And then I even made a little bit of money in the boxing world as well. Caleb Plant got upset as a 25-1 favorite in some random card, I'm pretty sure, down in Mexico, where he was just it was a setup fight, so that Plant could fight one of the big boys again. And then dude just gets rocked. And I just happened to be, watching because someone tweeted about it. And the other dude was still plus 300 when he was up in the 6th round, 7th round. So made a little bit of easy money there. Yeah, it was just a good week betting on some random stuff,
Yeah, I was talking to you a little bit before we popped on. I finally got my revenge on Mr. Brandon Fott and made a decent amount on fading that boy, and it came by your national. So shout out him. Shout out finally Nate Lowe finally doing something for my fantasy team. That dude's been fucking shit. I will say, I think even with this, I think Luis Garcia might be the worst base runner of all time. And also want to give a huge shout out to Nico Horner for being a piece of. I won't even go down the road. You're up 8-2, bro. And all I needed. What did I need? I needed. I think I needed Bush to come back up again. This is the 7th inning, so they're up 7-2. What are you stealing? What are you doing stealing here, bro? Because I think I needed either some sort of points from Shaw, who's just terrible, or Bush to come back up around. And I'm like, okay, I should get Bush back up around. Shaw's going to have a guy on 1st and 3rd, 1 out, and he steals bases up 6. What are we doing, bro? Just fucking stay at first base and let this dude try to drive in a run who's been absolute ass, dude. He's a rookie. Let him get some swings with a guy in position. Nope, gets flies out to the warning track and ruins everything because it doesn't count for a run because Horner gets thrown out. Why are you swiping, dude? Just so bad. It would have been a nice little payday there, but man, just dumb base running. It bothers me as a guy who just enjoys watching good baseball. Dumb base running.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm very used to that over here in DC. We've probably had the most pickoffs, caught stolen, dumb, base running errors like that of almost any team over the last couple of years. So it's pretty brutal, and like you said, it puts you on maximum tilt when you got a bet going on and you just see some completely unnecessary error, caught stealing like that fucks it up. Definitely not pleasant to watch.
Yeah, dude, it's tough. So just wanted to I'll take the blame for being a little late here. I don't even know if I told you this, but I have that half marathon in a month. And my days just got switched up on me because I don't know. I switched it up to Monday. So now I had to run 5 this morning. And I didn't get so I had to go get my lift in after, dude. I'm just fucking out of it, bro. It's been cooking me, man. My legs have been just fucking fried, but getting on here, it's a little nice, but I just had to give my heads up that. That took a little bit more out of me than I thought it would today because it was only 5. But yeah, that shit sucked, bro. I had to put that on me. It was not Stu this time. I know we throw it at Stu because we had a couple times in a row. It was on me this time, so yeah, put it on me, boys.
Yeah, and I mean, I would not want to be doing any kind of talking after, that much running. So more power to you coming on here, because after that, I need like a nap, or, I need society to leave me alone for a couple hours.
Yeah, we had what was it, 9? I had a 9-mile run. I haven't done this in 4 years since I trained for my last one. And then I got knee tendonitis like 3 days before the actual race, and I couldn't fucking do the race. So now I'm like, fuck it, dude. We're gonna just try one more time and see what happens. But yeah, dude, it wrecks you for a little while. Like it was hot, and then you have to like just chug down electrolytes, and you can just feel it go through your body. It's pretty weird. There's really no way to describe it outside of that. But enough about that. We will get into our recap. I'm gonna again bash the Mets. Hopefully, our boy Terrence ain't here. I'm gonna recap mine. What the fuck, bro? I told you what was gonna happen. I literally called this shit to a T. I said, first 2 times we order this dude's money. Third time, get his ass out. And he goes 5 innings, great, 3 hits, goes through, I think, even into the 6th inning, gets the first out. And then he gets to the 3, 4, 5 hitters, third time through, and just gets absolutely fucking pieced up. Like 90 pitches, dude. Get this fucker out. Get that bullpen in. He ends up blowing the game. That doesn't even get the win. So yeah, you don't see that much for a lefty against the Rockies. But gross, dude. You end up with 5, which, oh God, I should have won that bet, dude. I really should have won that bet.
Yeah, this one was annoying. He obviously got into a little trouble earlier, I think, but then it got out of it with only 3 hits. It was kind of looking like smooth sailing. My only silver lining, I did bet this, but I also did bet 5.5 as well.
Yeah, I had 5.5 as well. It moved. It was moving, and it was like minus 150, so I ended up going on around.
So I will say that I did actually end up making a little bit of money on this bet. So unfortunately, it didn't work out here, but it was annoying. You kind of, like you said, you kind of nailed the analysis. They just left him in a little bit too long there, but it is what it is.
The Mets are gonna Met, man. The Mets are gonna Met. They're gonna do what they do. I also had this happen to me on the Christopher Sanchez bet for a YouTube play of the day. It was at 1. It was at 2.5. I played in a parlay. They move it to 1.5 plus 130. He gives up 2 because the bullpen blows it for him, and I end up cashing my 2.5 bet. But yeah, they've been sharp, man. These books have been sharp, and they've been moving it right where it needs to be. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't think Jose Ramirez scored either.
No, he did not. I think they only scored 1 run as a team. They got their ass beat in this game as well. Jose lost his hit streak as well. So I talked about the hit parlay. That wouldn't have worked either, unfortunately, here.
I think his on-base streak is still over 30. I think he got on base that game. And obviously he's been absolutely crushing it. Outside of this game, I think he's been absolutely just on a heater too. So he moved from like 90-something for best fantasy player. He's up into 15 now. He's the 15th top fantasy player. Over the last 2 weeks, it's 25. Over the last month, he's top 10. So he's been really, really good. And yeah, him and PCA just carrying my team. So keep doing it. Keep doing it. So moves us to 21 and 17. And yeah, let's get into the slate, Stu. I guess what game you want to talk about. There's not many to choose from with very high upside spots, but what are you thinking?
Yeah, just from like a pure like enjoyment, probably Padres Giants should be pretty fun. I've always been a big Logan Webb fan. He's always been one of my favorite pitchers to watch. So yeah, I mean, whenever Logan Webb is on the bump, I'm normally somewhat interested to get the Padres on the other side, a little bit of a rivalry kind of thing going. It should be a good game. I think like when I look at the slate, that's the one. It may not be the best for like props just because Logan Webb props are always high as hell, so you're never really getting like value. You're always paying up and just hoping he looks awesome, which he does a decent amount of the time. But yeah, probably not a big prop game, but I think just when there's not shit on TV tonight, so what am I going to put my TV on? Probably this game. Yeah,
it sucks because Blackburn is not stretched out or anything first game of the year. Dustin May's been really good to me though. Like he's been really, really good. The tough part is it's very much like a high upside guy, high strikeout guy, which he wasn't before. This is really new territory for Dustin May, where he's just a high strikeout guy now and struggles with pretty much everything else. Usually he was just a heavy ground ball guy, not getting many strikeouts, but he's getting that strikeout rate up there, man. Yeah, dude, it's pretty weird just how that flips. But I mean, when you're throwing upper 90s and you have a hammer, man, I mean, you should be getting some swings and misses there. So, yeah, I think that one would probably be my number one. I'm also, you guys know I'm a Joe Ryan stan, so excited to watch that game. And Fade Sevy Day for me, so I'm excited for that. Do you want to get right into this, Stu, or what's up? You ready to roll?
Yeah, sure. The one thing I was going to say is you mentioned Joe Ryan. If anyone in the chat sees a Joe Ryan 1.5 walks line, message me, because for so long, the under 1.5 as a parlay piece was great, but I only see 0.5 now. So just want to throw that out there. Yeah, you guys are good detectives normally. If anyone sees that out there, let me know. But yeah, that besides that, I'm good to go in.
All right. Let's kick it to you. You didn't give me odds at all, so I just have this as your straight bet. I don't have odds.
Sounds good. We got plus 130. Plus 130. But yeah, we'll go into the first game of the night here. We just talked about some good ones, some Mets, some Dodgers, some Padres, some Giants. This is whatever the complete opposite of that is. We got the Marlins and the Rockies, baby. And this one is in Miami. And funnily enough, like if this was like a Freeland, there are some guys that, like, if you take a Colorado pitcher to Miami, normally I think they're going to be a little undervalued because they're normally pitching in Colorado. Miami's kind of like the opposite conditions of that, and maybe the market hasn't fully caught up. Like, I do think you can make some arguments there. But, man, Marquez is not really a guy that I want to get on board with. And for me, like, this play is really simple. Like, when I look at it, when I look at this game, and when I look at Stowers in general, he's done really good for me this year. I sat up close to a game where he had a couple bombs and a triple. Like, I like watching the guy play. He's really fun. But his big, clear, glaring weakness, even you could just tell from the basic game log, the guy's striking out like 2 times a game. Like, he's in a bit of a rough stretch right now. He's only hitting like around 200 over his last 15. It's not like great recent form. And it's just K after K after K. He's just going out there swinging for the fences. And the reason why I think this is a good buy low spot is because Marquez in 53 innings has 32 strikeouts this season. And when you look even closer at Marquez, obviously second percentile strikeout rate, baseball savant, not getting chases, not really getting whiffs. But when you look at Marquez's stats even more, you go, wow, the guy's got a 7.13 ERA. That's brutal. But course, let's see the home road splits. Let's give the guy a shot, right? Well, you go in the home road split, 7 of his 11 starts have been on the road this season, and his ERA is worse on the road. He has a 9 ERA on the road. So for whatever reason, the guy in one of the best hitter parks in the league has actually been worse pretty much in every spot on the road so far this year. So it's not like you can really blame the Coors effect. The guy's got a 4 ERA in those 4 starts at home and a 9.42 ERA in those 7 road starts this year. So when you got a guy throwing a lot of fastballs, we're not really getting whiffs. Stowers, if you look at the baseball savant, we can hit the fastball. We can hit the fastball very well. Besides that, it gets a little bit hit or miss when you get to some of these high-end whiff guys, but I'm just not worried about it in this matchup. But the other thing I wanted to look to is maybe I was worried, okay, Stowers, we've had a little bit of a struggle recently. We're not hitting as well as we were earlier. Maybe the advanced stats have just been totally out on him the whole time. Maybe the baseball savant page is looking brutal, and that's the reason. And when you go there, that's absolutely not the case. The expected slugging, the barrel rate stuff, it's still through the roof. He's making hard contact. The problem is he's making awful swing decisions. He's just super aggressive. He's not a minor leaguer anymore, but he's got like that I'm a minor leaguer and I just got called up kind of like swing pattern, which isn't something that I really want to bet on like a day-to-day basis now, because we're kind of seeing those struggles come to the forefront. But this is like one of the best matchups you can possibly get. Like, for a guy that's really not striking people out, there's really not that much mystery in his stuff right here. Like, I think this profiles as kind of the get right opportunity. And it's not like the rest of the team is priced that well either. Like, guys like Xavier Edwards and stuff, when you look at some of these more contact guys at the top of their lineup, the catcher, Ramirez, I believe is his name, like, they're all priced pretty poorly. Like, it's pretty juiced up. And I think because of Stowers' bad recent form that we're getting a pretty good number here. And I'd rather take this over like the hits, runs, RBIs, because like I said, the barrel rate stuff, the expected slugging, it's still really good. Like, the hard contact is there. So I'd just rather take a nice plus money price tag on it, because once again, he had 98th percentile barrel, 90th percentile slugging at 539 expected slugging. Like, those are really good numbers. And if he's going to hit the ball against Marquez, it's probably going to go pretty far. So I know it's been rough recently for him. It's not bad. We're not betting a guy on a 20-game hit streak or anything like that. But I think this is the chance to kind of break out of that slump and, hit a ball pretty far.
All right. I know I always do this, but devil's advocate, a guy to, my God, dude, has there been a tougher matchup? I don't think I've seen like a tougher game log of who this fucker's had to face on the road than anyone I've ever seen. Like, he actually did good at Wrigley. Then you have to go at Arizona, who has just been fucking everybody up right now. Then you have to go at LA, at San Diego, at Philly, at Royals, right? I mean, that's wild, man. Like, these guys just fucking throwing this man into the fucking den, and he's actually had a couple decent starts. The nice part is you still get the bullpen, though, right? So it doesn't really matter with how bad Marquez has been. You still have that bullpen that's really struggled as well. So just a little devil's advocate, because I was looking at it too. I was looking at Marquez's stuff, and I'm like, holy shit, dude. This guy's actually had to go through a freaking gauntlet to deal with this shit. But I just thought that was pretty impressive to see those are your matchups.
Yeah.
There.
And I think that's a fair point as well. The quality of competition, you're kind of taking a pretty big step down here to the Marlins. But I will say too, at the same time, it's still the way he pitches, the style of pitcher he is. I like that even when he has a better start, you're still probably going to allow some hits. You're still going to leave us in a solid place for total bases, because he's not this strikeout wizard. He's not this, boomer bust, 6 walks or 6 Ks. Like, I'm going to make it tough for you to get those total bases. Like, even his good starts, there is some contact, there is some power. He just kind of finds his way out of it, and, it's more soft contact. So I do get what you're saying. It's definitely like a step down here, but I just think stylistically the kind of matchup is what we're looking for with Stowers here. For
sure. I'm going to be heading back to the fade Sevy train. I'm going to Joe Ryan to record the win today. Plus 125 in, where is he now? Sacramento. That's where he's at, and where he's facing off against the Athletics. Obviously, this is an interesting matchup for me because both these dudes pretty Jurassic fly ball rate, right? And you're playing in a mini-ass ballpark, which doesn't make me feel great for Joe Ryan, because I believe Joe Ryan might have the highest fly ball rate in the MLB. I think it's like 56%, 57%. But obviously, when you're getting as many swings and misses as this guy is getting up in the zone, if they make contact, it's going in the air, right? There's really not much down unless it's like that really good sweeper that he has. Severino, obviously, home road splits are wild. He is awful at home. So let's just put it that way. Again, when I look at it, though, it's like the xFIP isn't terrible. The numbers aren't awful. My biggest issue is against right-handed batters. It's like 40% fly ball rate and 36% hard contact, right? So if I'm getting all that, and then when you face lefties, you have a 37% pull rate, and then you look at his numbers also with let me pull it up right here. You look at his other numbers here for the left-hand side. The left-hand side is 39% hard hit rate. So it's like these guys are lifting the ball. And my thing is with this Minnesota team, it is so Jurassic. But if you can't get the righties out, you're going to face a lot of good lefties that are only in there to face lefties, right? Matt Wallner, going to face only right-handed pitching, and he's fucking great at it, right? And you go down this list, and it's like Trevor Larnach, same thing. He's in there to specifically hit left-handed pitch or right-handed pitching, and he's really good at hitting right-handed pitching. And I'm looking down this list, and he struggled with the righties, been okay against lefties, but I'm going to take those righties, those lefties who only hit against righties. They come out of the game, dude. They literally come out of the game if they see a left-handed bat. Also, Carlos Correa has had good numbers career-wise. Righty. Byron Buxton, obviously righty is going to be in that lineup. Christian Vasquez is actually good now. I don't know, but 360 against him in his career through 11 ABs. So it's like, just looking up and down this lineup, I like that he is better against lefties, but now you have to face the guys who only face right-handed pitching, and I'm going to put my money on those types of guys. Also, let's look at the bullpens here, right? Oakland had to run out 3 dudes in their bullpen yesterday for 20 pitches, or I think one had 18. Other 2 had 20, and they got fucking shelled, dude. I had Toronto team total as a free play out yesterday, and their bullpen gave it up, man, and I ended up getting the money that way. So the thing is with Joe Ryan, he's going to get the ball, and he's going to be deep in this game, right? He goes deep into almost every single ball game. He's one of those guys who consistently you will see at 18.5, and if it's not 18.5, it's 17.5, and it's minus 200 something. So to the over. So he's getting that deep in this game. If we get him further than Severino, and he gets any sort of bullpen, it's a huge advantage to Minnesota. The Athletics are the worst bullpen. Minnesota is the 4th best bullpen. They have almost half of the ERA of the Oakland Athletics bullpen. That is incredible. I think that this is a spot where he's minus 205 to go 18 outs, right? And I think he could go deeper into that game because he is very, very efficient, heavy fastball usage for Joe Ryan. And I get it. They got a couple guys that are scary, but I feel like all of the guys that are scary, I'm really worried about from the right side. And Joe Ryan has been very, very good from the right side against right-handed batters so far this year and in his career. You look down the list, they don't have Blade in there anymore. You got Soderstrom, but he has cooled off drastically. Lawrence Butler is Lawrence Butler. He's going to do his thing. I'm not really worried about a ton of power, knock on wood, from Lawrence Butler. I'm worried about him getting on base and swiping those bases. Maybe that's a Lawrence Butler swipe because Joe Ryan does not hold runners that well. But he doesn't walk guys either, which makes it a little tougher for you have to get a hit against him to get that done. So I really like Joe Ryan here. I'm not worried about a ton of that lefty at the lefty there. Blade isn't even in the bigs anymore. Like that Nick Kurtz, he's righty, right? Like it's just there's not much to scare me from the left side here anymore. With Soderstrom really taking a step back, and Joe Ryan being such an elite guy against righties. I think Rooker and you go down the list. Wilson's going to have a tough day here. I think this is a tough spot for these athletic hitters unless they can poke one out, and hopefully it's hot there to get the ball out of the ballpark. You're muted there, buddy.
Thank you. I was going to say I really like the breakdown of this one right here. I'm also a big Joe Ryan fan. I think he's one of the better pitchers out there in the league, and you kind of nailed it with the home road splits on the other side with Sevy. Like it just seems like the much more appealing pitcher in this matchup. And like you said, Ryan's not a guy you have to worry about hitting that 5-inning mark with, unlike it feels like half the pitchers in the MLB these days, where like if he's not getting absolutely blown up, like implode, torn to shreds, worst outing of the year, he's going 5. You know what I mean? And when you do that, you always get a chance to win and your team to fight for you there. And obviously, it looks like they got the bullpen advantage in this one as well. So I like the spot.
Yeah, and I guess my last thing I'll say is Joe Ryan, we're not going to put 3 guys on base, but his over-under hits allowed is 5.5, right? So that's – okay, so you say he goes – I think it's juiced to the under. Yeah, minus 160 to the under. And then he has over half a walk at minus 250, right, for the over. So say that all happens, that gets you 6 base runners, right? Like that's pretty wild, man. And they're expecting him to go that deep in the ballgame. Put that in perspective, we have 1.5 minus 140 to Severino. 6 hits is minus 140 for Severino. So we're expecting a lot more traffic. I hate trusting this Twins roster. I really do. I hate this Twins team. They've been awful to me. And every time I fade them, they do good, right? I have Andre Munoz, and I want him to get some saves. And, of course, they can hit the best closer in the league right now. Of course. But also really rested bullpen on the Twins side. Chris Paddock went 110 pitches yesterday. 8 innings, only had 1 guy come in. So you have Duran, you have all those guys at the back end ready to roll. So just another cherry on top of everything that we just always have.
Exactly. No, I like the spot. I definitely like the plus money as well. I'd like to have the double plus money spots here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's check a recap here, Stu. 25 you guys in here. Hit that like button if you could. Let's get that up to 20 before we head out today. Stu, let's get that recap going.
Sounds good. We got Kyle Stowers over 1.5 total bases, plus 130 over on FanDuel.
Beautiful. And I'll be on Joe Ryan to record the win at plus 125. Stu, any long shots sticking out to you as we keep going here into the slate? Like I said, this isn't a great slate. Not anything it's really crazy for these, but any thoughts?
I don't have anything bet yet. I was going to ask you a question, though, honestly. I feel like if there is a game, Cincy and your boys and Great American Small Park could be kind of solid for a long shot or two, right? I mean, especially, I don't know. It feels like maybe I go with my boy Ellie. I don't think I bet on Ellie in a while, but maybe like a homer or something. Did you look at that game at all? I'm curious what you think about it.
Yeah, I did. I guess my biggest issue is I just don't really I don't really like fading Savali. Like, he's not good.
Sure.
But the dude does exactly what we talk about with Kikuchi. He'll give up like 3 base runners and get a ground ball every time. Like, it is so annoying. I've seen it a billion times. He just throws the cutter off the plate and guys roll over every time. I would love to, and I don't think Savali is a good pitcher by any means. But it's the same fucking thing with Jose Quintana, dude. They let guys on base and then just get out of it. It's hard to fade and know how to fade them. I think if I was going to go to a game, I probably prefer to fade Tyler Anderson in that game because I think he gets absolutely demolished today. But yeah, I don't think I have anything crazy for those for long shots. I do feel good about my long shot I talked about on Friday with that Arkansas play at plus 500. They're down to plus 300 because the top 2 national seeds are out. So Arkansas is actually the very clear odds-on favorite. I told you about those 4 teams that kind of suck out. 2 of them are out now. Vandy's out, and so is oh fuck! I just watched this yesterday. Who's the 2 seed?
Or like LSU, Tennessee. What are we looking at? Who's
it might have been Tennessee. It might have been Tennessee, actually. I will be watching those games today, so I'm excited. Actually, Tennessee plays Wake Forest, and they lost last night. Wake Forest had some dudes, man, coming out of that pen. So interesting games are on the board. I think that the tough part is Little Rock is such a fun team that you want to root for. But holy shit, dude. They could lose by 15 today. I think LSU just unloads the clip on these guys. Like, that's the tough part for me is I really, really want to watch a big upset like that. But, you know, they had a sophomore who had like 6 ERA go out there and just shove on a top 3 team in the country and was talking all that shit. And I get it. You should, man. You won. You beat them in LSU. Like, that's a big W for your program. But you cannot tell me that those guys ain't coming out here with a fucking vengeance and taking your fucking head off, dude. Because LSU's got like 2 bona fide draft picks yet that haven't thrown in 2 days. So I'm excited. I think LSU just lays the hammer there, but I don't know if I want to bet minus 5.5, minus 160. That is pretty ridiculous. I would probably look at that team total if they can give me one. But yeah, dude, it's one of those games where this could get pretty wild.
No, yeah. Is this on like ESPN? Maybe I'll have to tune this on.
ESPN Plus. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's not honestly. There's not shit on. You know what I mean? Like,
no, there's some very good baseball games on today. I even really enjoy the like I said, the World Series for women. They have good games on today as well. They were just on when I left the gym, but yeah, I haven't checked out what there was today. I know that there's the double elimination thing. So if a team hasn't lost yet, they have to beat them twice, which is just crazy, dude. That just makes it so much more interesting. Where you have to one team's got to sell out, and the other team's like, all right, well, when do we just sell out and pull back? Because that's where, like last night, you could make a lot of money on that. Because if LSU kind of gave up, not literally, but like with the 7th inning, they're down 3 runs. They threw in a guy who doesn't throw that much instead of their hammers, right? Took the L, but now they're just absolutely loaded for today.
They're saving it up. Yeah.
So it's like those were the games last night to really make your hay. And obviously there's some good ones today. But, like some of these teams that are almost, there's no other team like Little Rock out there right now. Maybe Murray State would probably be the closest thing. But like Wright State beating Vanderbilt, like that is absurd, bro. Like that is crazy. Like that one I would have lost a lot of money on. Thank God I didn't bet it because it was like the team won and they played 30 minutes later and they had to play back-to-back games. So I couldn't get a bet in on it, or else I probably would have hammered Vandy, but I didn't get a chance to because it didn't come up. So there's a lot of good baseball on there today, and softball, right? Softball as well. So should be a good day.
Yeah, sounds good. I saw the money line for LSU is minus 3,000. So
Really? It's
according,
1950 on DraftKings right
no,
now.
I'm on ESPN right now just because they have the ingrained odds in it now. So it must have come down a little bit, but that's hilarious.
Yeah,
That's
dude,
hilarious.
I still can't believe I still can't believe ESPN has a sports book and it's fucking shit, dude. So
Yeah, and it's a joke, so you
this
don't
is
even.
fucking awful, dude. I don't know if you watch all their people like come on there. I just can't listen to them talk about betting. I'm like, bro, I don't know if you're working for the book right here, and like they're actually like the biggest sports company in the world, and you're like, all right, well take these, and then I look at their records. Well, no shit, they're gonna be fucking ass. Like no shit, go bet them, and then they just make more money off you. It's so
Yeah.
bad. Dude.
No, it's the same. Did you see the Minty Bets thing with the UFC where
I didn't. Whenever she comes on, I just mute and walk and go to the bathroom.
Yeah, I mean, I just to be clear, she's not even the worst of the UFC gambling people. Yanni the Greek had what is it called, Contender Series, where he got every pick wrong all year. He gave out a pick, multiple picks every show. He got every single one wrong all year, and he's still employed. And they let him on pay-per-view. So these guys are all the worst. I see people complain, like defending him, like, oh, people make mistakes on TV. I'm an idiot. Like I stumble upon words. I could so see myself in that place. Any anger at her is not that she failed to read a teleprompter. It's that she's she's not great at her job. I don't want to say anything too mean, but like none of them are great at their jobs. And they're, like you said, they're up there to give you awful bets, like absolutely awful bets to degen put in between fights. That's their whole job up there. And I guess they're good at getting you to lose money, but yeah, that was crazy. And I see a lot of people defending and stuff. It's like, yeah, everybody makes mistakes out here, but these are not the people we need to defend. They're out here to get your money, like to extract your money from the sports books. That's their job. So if anyone out here is like, I'm waiting for the Minty Bets pick, please don't, you know?
Oh shit! It's funny, man. It's funny. I know. Yeah. Hopefully, if you're here, you're following some smart people that we're following as well for our bets as well. Let's take a look at the chat here. Yeah, I know you mentioned it, LSU, dude. I said I would take Arkansas. I know I was chalky at plus 500, but that was the team I went with. LSU's gonna nuke them. I have negative ability for me to think that this Little Rock team is gonna beat them twice in Baton Rouge, and they're gonna be having two starters left that can throw like. They're making it, bro. They're also going to play against West Virginia. I'm pretty sure West Virginia is the team. Or maybe it's the Wake Forest game. I don't know. I was watching both and I remember seeing it. So it could be either one of those. I'd have to look. But if it's West Virginia, dude, LSU is going to run them too if they make it. So, but that's how big that Wake Forest game is too. I don't remember if it was the Wake Forest or which one it was. But Wake Forest is a really good team. Plus 220 feels a little high on that side as well. Tyrone talking about Padres hitting Logan pretty well. I just don't ever fade Logan Webb at home. I just can't. Like the dude just throws and you can't take strikeouts because he doesn't strike anybody out. You can take over ground balls. I'd probably fucking take it at 15.5. It's fucking gross, but they don't even offer those types of bets. That should be like minus 10,000 or plus 10,000, bro. But it is what it is. But I appreciate it, T. Yeah, dude, I can't even imagine high school track, man. I never did it. Obviously, baseball and track are the same season here out in Wisconsin, so it makes it impossible to do both. But Stu, anything else from you before we head out today?
No, not much. I'll just say I was a basketball guy. You get to run a lot less there. That's a great sport. Go with basketball over track and cross country. But no, just besides that, no, I'm just excited to get into this week a little bit. Like I said, had a great weekend, feeling recharged and ready to make some more bets. So yeah, if you want any more, make sure to follow on Twitter. I'll probably have one more later today because I got to write this newsletter after we get off here. And yeah, let's just, keep the momentum going and win some bets.
Yeah, dude, should be good to go. I'm excited to let it roll here. Padres, his worst matchup of his career. I'm a Giants fan, so yeah. I mean, I'd have to look at like his savant numbers on how hard he's getting hit, or if it's just like those lucky ground balls that find their way through. So there's a lot of that. So especially when you're a guy who doesn't strike anybody out. So appreciate you guys for tuning in. 2+ money spots today. Hopefully we can add on to our total at 12.4 units. Appreciate you guys for joining us. We will be back on Wednesday. Make sure you're following over on Twitter to know when we're going live. We should be ready to roll. So have a good one, guys, and see you Wednesday.